Outrage over electricity tariff hike for Band A customers. President Tinubu inaugurates another presidential economic council amid sluggish economic growth. Nigerians express preference for POS transaction over the ATM machines. And on the international scene, 21 killed in Mali wedding attack. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Sumaya Abubakar. And now the details. Electricity customers have expressed frustration following announcements by distribution companies on a further increase in the price of tariff for Band A customers. Trouble started after public notices obtained from some of the utility firms on Wednesday revealed that the tariff has been increased from 206.80 naira to 209.15 naira kilowatt per hour. The ECO's electricity distribution company, the AKDC, in a notice on its official X handle at AKDP, said the new tariff takes effect from July 1st, 2024. Shortly after AKDC posted the update, Ikeja Electricity followed suit with a related notice to its customers. Meanwhile, the organized labor has vehemently criticized the recent hike in electricity tariffs by the distribution companies from 206 naira 0.8 kobo to 209 naira 0.5 kobo for Band A customers effective July 1st. The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajaero, described the increase as an act of impunity and arrogance, warning that it will further cripple businesses and exacerbate hardship for consumers. The tariff hike follows unresolved disputes over a previous 250% increase, which caused widespread outrage and led to a shutdown of 300 businesses, according to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. This earlier hike also triggered a one-day protest by organized labor, condemning its unreasonableness and the violation of existing tariff regulations. Instead of the promised reversal, the new hike has been introduced, which Comrade Joe Ajaero claims is a proof of the government's insincerity and insensitivity. He warned that this frequent display of insincerity and insensitivity will undoubtedly pit the people against the government. The discourse cited the exchange rate, interest rate, and cost of gas as reasons for the increase. However, Comrade Joe Ajaero argued that these justifications highlight the lack of a serious approach to resolving Nigeria's energy crisis. Now joining us via Zoom is a power sector expert, Bode Fadipe, to bring us up to speed with this development. Good evening, Mr. Bode. Do we have Bode on? All right, I think I would have to move and perhaps come back to that one. Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu has ordered counsels in the ongoing Kano Emirates tussle case holding at the State High Court sitting at Audubako Secretariat to stop granting media interviews. The presiding judge gave the order this Thursday during the proceedings on the controversial suit before her. The presiding judge had gone on recess to give her ruling on the issue. Recall that the applicants are the Attorney General of Kano State, Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, and Kano State House of Assembly. Through their counsel, Ibrahim Isa Wangida Esquire filed a motion ex parte dated May 27th. The applicants are seeking the court to restrain Aminu Ado Bayero and four other dethroned emirs of Bichi, Rano, Gaya, and Karaye from parading themselves as emirs. The respondents are Aminu Ado Bayero, the emirs of Bichi, Karaye, Rano, and that of Gaya, as well as the Inspector General of Police, Director, State Security Service, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Nigerian Army. A two-story building under construction at Ibom Market, Amabuya in Akwa South, local government of Anambra State, has collapsed. The two-building houses traders and shop owners collapsed on Thursday afternoon. Although the casualty figure has not been officially ascertained, it was gathered that lives might have been lost in the incident, with many fear trapped under the rubble. Eyewitnesses said the incident happened at about 12 noon, creating panic among some of the traders and residents in the area. Meanwhile, rescue operations is currently ongoing with emergency workers searching for survivors. The atmosphere at the market is tense, with onlookers anxiously waiting for news of rescue of the people feared trapped in the building. The spokesman of the Anambra State Police Command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, who confirmed the development when contacted, said 2 victims have been rescued while rescue operations are still ongoing. A federal high court in Abuja on Thursday invalidated the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, primary election that produced Asiu Ighodalo as the party's candidate in the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State. Justice Inyang Eko, in a judgment, held that the PDP's primary held on February 22nd failed to comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, the guidelines of the conduct of the poll, and the party's constitution. Justice Eko, who said that Exhibit PDP-1 tendered by the party was bereft of evidence, held that the plaintiffs, through the exhibit tendered, were able to establish their case against the defendants. The judge said that from the exhibit presented by the PDP, he found that the returning officers who prepared the result sheets only sat down in a place to manufacture the outcome of the poll. He said the exclusion of the 381 delegates, including the plaintiffs, were against the provisions of the law. 3 aggrieved ad hoc delegates on behalf of the 378 others had sued the Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC, the PDP, its national secretariat, and the vice chairman South-South as first and fourth defendant, respectively. The 381 defendants are those loyal to Philip Shaibu, the impeached deputy governor. Still in Edo, the Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party
violates the electoral guidelines you have made. You refuse to listen to the wishes and aspirations of your members. There is a consequence, and that is what has transpired today. The court has held that because the PDP, which is a self-constituted business, has refused to comply by its own electoral guidelines, section 50, 36 of its own constitution, and the provisions of section 8 the Electoral Act, its ad hoc delegate congress of 4th and 5th February 2024. The court just declared it as a nullity for the exclusion of 378 ad hoc delegates who were duly elected and who have been so accredited by the party, but were excluded. The implication of this is that PDP has no candidates because those delegates that were supposed to elect that delegates were excluded from participating in the party conference.
Meanwhile, the Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, on Thursday reacted to the nullification of the party's governorship election, insisting that Asiu Ighodalo is its flag bearer. Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja voided the February 2024 election that produced Ighodalo on the ground that 378 delegates who were supposed to vote at the primary election were unlawfully excluded by the PDP. But the party insisted that the Lagos-based lawyer remains its flag bearer ahead of the September 21st governorship election in Edo State. In a statement, the Edo PDP chairman, Dr. Tony Azegbemi, said the candidature of Asiu Ighodalo as the flag bearer of the party for the 2024 election remains intact, insisting that the judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja did not in any way affect the candidature of Ighodalo. Still on litigation matters, the Court of Appeal Abuja has nullified the expulsion of Martin Amawule and 24 others from the Rivers State House of Assembly by the Rivers State High Court. A 3-member panel of the appellate court held that the lower court lacked the jurisdiction to grant the ex parte order. The court held that Section 272, subsection 3 of the Constitution gives the Federal High Court powers to determine whether the seat of a House of Assembly member has become vacant. It held that the Federal High Court has the exclusive jurisdiction to determine if the seats have become vacant. According to the court, the express mention of the Federal High Court in Section 272, subsection 3 of the Constitution automatically excludes all state high courts from having the jurisdiction. The appellate court held that the ex parte order, having been made without jurisdiction, is null and void. Residents of the Federal High Court Territory, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, have been speaking on their preference for point-of-sale transaction over automated teller machines, the ATMs. This follows the proliferation of the POS points and the rise in their patronage over the ATMs despite the charges involved. Noel Sampson has more.
A cross-section of FCT residents gave various reasons for prioritizing POS machine over ATMs.
One, because the closeness to you. That was one. Two, I think it's not more stressful as bank.
Number one reason would be because of the ease of getting access to POS than ATM. You know, I think in time past, if you go to the ATM, you have to queue and wait for maybe hours for you to be able to access your funds. But with POS, you can easily, walk out of your door and get whatever cash you need for the day.
I think POS is more better in terms of network and other things, and the charges.
Do ATM charge?
Most times ATM charge. You will see sometimes they will debit you without you knowing what the reason why they debited you or stuff like that, and it's more preferable. You won't have anybody to blame or stuff like that, so you will just go to the person you want to do the POS with, then you beat the price, then you talk about it, and everything is sharp.
Even after the transaction, if the person don't really give me the cash, I feel hold on for next immediately there. He go give me the money immediately for there. But if you go for ATM now, before you know the next thing, in fact, if you swallow your ATM card, sir, the next thing they will say, you have to bring passport, bring ID card, all these things and that before they will even give you your this thing.
Ezekiel Smart, a POS operator, gives us a hint on how they deal with network glitches.
We have a platform which once you just make a complaint, they can just reply with an immediate effect. Like we have active customer cares that are online, that are on the platform. So once once an agent make a complaint, they answer us very fast than going to the bank.
A financial expert spoke on issues like charges, security, as well as glitches on both platforms, which may sway users to any of them.
As of 2022, January to December, the total transactions on POS stand at 41 trillion. So the POS system is getting this acceptability from Nigerians than the normal conventional ATM. Then when you look at it, why Nigerians consider using POS system the more than the normal conventional ATM? There are lots of factors. Now let's talk of the accessibility. Okay, you walking out from your house, probably beside your house or the trunk from your house, you see a POS system, right, where you can just walk in, do your transactions, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, you're done. The convenience is there. Unlike the total number of ATMs we have in this country is 22,600. And this 22,600 ATMs is owned by 70% owned by 7 commercial banks. So the scarcity of ATMs is there. While we have about 1.8 million POS system spread across the country, that makes the accessibility easier for Nigerians.
With the increase in digital forms of payments, many say that cash may soon become obsolete, and by applications, ATM machines. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is seeking a strategic partnership with the private sector to drive the reforms that will stabilize the Nigerian economy. To this end, he inaugurated on Thursday the Presidential Economic Coordinating Council. The PECC is made up of the President's Economic Team, the state represented by Chairman of the Governors Forum, and key leaders of the private sector. Kende Amodu reports.
To facilitate the economic recovery efforts The sum of 2 trillion naira has been set aside as Economic Stabilization Fund.
I believe so much deeply in the organized private sector. The partnership to drive the economy of this country for reforms and stabilization.
And the administration aims to systematically address the root causes of food insecurity. The strategy integrates economic reforms, targeted agricultural policies, and sustainable practices to establish a resilient food system capable of meeting Nigeria's nutritional needs sustainably.
The Minister of Finance is insistent that the economy has been stabilized, and what remains is to build on the successes achieved.
A 2 trillion naira package involving 350 billion naira funding for health and social welfare, 500 billion naira funding for agriculture and food security, 500 billion for the energy and power sector, and general business support of about 650 billion. In addition to a range of policy measures and tax measures.
The target is to shore up energy and achieve the oil production of 2 million barrels a day. And in light of prevailing high food prices, it is not surprising that achieving food security is also up there on the agenda.
We need to increase our oil production. As the coordinator said, the present target is 2 million barrels per day. Is it achievable? Yes, but we just need to do what we need to do to get to that level. And also, all of this is all about creating prosperity for our people. The senior people, the old people, the junior people, the struggling people, small, medium-scale enterprises.
Like what I keep saying, our own issues are not that bad. This economy can be turned around within few months, and I think we're on that way. And I can assure you, you see a lot of changes coming. I know that everybody is in a hurry, but we have what it takes to turn around this economy.
Every president has his own Economic Advisory Council, and the PECC may be another derivative of this under a new nomenclature. But now more than ever before, the country needs clear guidance after a few misstarts that will lead it out of the economic woods. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
This is Trust News Hour. Coming up, we'll take a look at health benefits of seasonal fruits combination. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Trust News Hour. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you outrage over electricity tariff hike for Band A customers. And President Tinubu inaugurates another presidential economic council amid sluggish economic growth. Moving on to security matters, a Bayelsa State High Court sitting at Obia Town in Obia local government area has sentenced 4 kidnappers to 40 years each in prison. The 4 kidnappers were involved in the abduction of the former Commissioner for Trade and Investment in the state, Federal Otokito, from Otuokoti in Obia local government to Ibom Toru Bush in Southern Ijaw local government area in 2022 and demanded ransom before his release. The presiding judge, Justice S.W. Amaduo Boga, while delivering the judgment on Thursday, declared Kingsley Ogbesi, 24, Joshua Abi, 32, Gift Damene, 38, and Powell Inegiti, 36, guilty as charged on conspiracy, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms. The convicted persons were arrested by operatives of the Operation Puff Ada of the Nigerian Police Force and arraigned in court for offenses bordering on conspiracy, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms. Justice S.W. Amaduo Boga, after hearing from the Police Prosecution Council and the Defense Council, declared that the investigative and prosecution team have done due diligence and proved beyond reasonable doubt that a case of conspiracy, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms against the convicts. Some members of the Otopoti community, where the former commissioner hails from in Obia local government area, commended the Bayelsa State Command, particularly the operatives of the Operation Puff Adder, for their diligent investigation and prosecution. Ahead of the Edo and Ondo election, governorship elections, civil society organizations have called on INEC to ensure the integrity of the poll by deploying the beavers to avoid a repeat of what happened in the last Kogi governorship election. The group, in a procession to Ministry of Justice and National Assembly, wants the two institutions, which are a bastion of democracy, to help deepen democratic process in the country.
Madam, we are here to remind you of the oath of your office, to stand and uphold the rule of law, and you are our only hope. We don't have any hope anywhere. We don't have anything to do on our own. And as children that cannot do anything, they always cry to their father. And we are here to cry to the father of the nation, that is the Ministry of Justice, the bedrock of our constitution, that please come and save Nigeria. Madam, we are here because 2022 electoral bills made it clear in section 64, subsection 4, make beavers compulsory and make beavers only the hope of the common man. In 2023, madam, a lot of us came into the electoral space because of beavers and because of the electoral bill. 2022 electoral bill, if put to work, will be the best electoral system in Nigeria. That even in the whole world.
The police in Benue State have arrested 18 persons suspected to be in connection with the violent protest that rocked Ukum local government area of the state on Wednesday. The police public relations officer for the state command, SP Catherine Anene, who disclosed this in a statement in Makurdi on Thursday, said the state commissioner of police, Hassan Yabanet, has relocated to the troubled local government. Recall that some youths had protested the killing of people in Ayati village by local bandits, resulting in the destruction of personal and government properties by the protesters. Following the violent protests, the state's governor, Hyacinth Alia, declared a 24-hour curfew in the local government. Anene in the statement explained that the troubled local government had witnessed more deployment of security operatives. The Senate, during plenary on Thursday, called for the expansion of the LagosCoastal Highway to capture Northeastern states. The call came on the heels of a motion by Senator Mohammed Goje of Gombe Central, who described as urgent the need to integrate the Northeast geopolitical zone into federal government Renewed Hope Legacy road infrastructure project. Our Senate correspondent, Sagir Ibrahim, brings the details to this and more from Thursday's plenary. Take a look.
While raising the motion, Senator Goje argued that it was a matter of necessity for northeastern states to be captured in the legacy road projects, thereby linking development of infrastructure in the region with its socio-economic benefits.
The non-inclusion of the northeast in the projects, which includes Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, and Yobe, has raised myriad of concerns about unequal development and potential marginalization of the region, which will further worsen the infrastructural challenges of the region. Concerned that the security situation of the region, incidentally, one of which has just been discussed by the Senate, will be further exacerbated due to lack of adequate road infrastructure network.
If there is a holistic approach on it, it will help us in no small measure by improving the economy of the entire Northeast and part of North Central. I rise to second this in its totality, and I believe that all of us will reason with the desire of Mr. President to bring more road construction in this country, but including North Central and Northeastern part of this country.
In its resolution, the Senate urged the federal government through the Ministry of Works to include the Akwa-Jos-Gombe Highway among the key national road projects.
Urge the Federal Ministry of Works to include the Calabar-Makodi-Jalingo-Meduguri Highway and also to include the Akwa-Jos-Gombe-Adamawa highways to complete the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President with a view to leaving behind legacy roads in the country. Those in support of these additional prayers say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
While the Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, took over as the presiding officer of the plenary, a committee was set up to investigate transactions around the Mambila hydroelectric power project from 1999 to date. This decision to beam the searchlight on the project, which has been moribund for almost 2.5 decades, was prompted by a motion calling for an urgent need to address the challenges of commencing the Mambila hydroelectric power project, sponsored by Senator Manu Haruna of Taraba Central.
Aware that the project has great benefit for local content in the area of human capital development, including the creation of over 55,000 jobs, construction of resettlement homes for over 100,000 people, hauling and supplying of over 2.7 million tons of steel, production and supply of over 76 million tons of carry stone.
However, there may be some hope, as it was also revealed that a compromise may have been reached between the contractors and government.
So this project, if it must ever be executed, it has to have the special blessing and commitment of Mr. President himself, because we have to untangle all these legal issues before we can make any serious progress.
It's a huge national asset. There are other secondary benefits arising from bringing this into fruition. We will never have all the money. If there are people who are ready to invest in it, I think we should find the courage to deal with it. And then make a law that arbitration shall be only in Nigeria if it arises from a transaction between Nigeria institution and any corporate citizen, whether it's a Nigerian citizen or a foreign corporate citizen.
The legal encumbrance we have, Attorney General and Sunrise, I am sure by now they have reached a compromise, because I'm aware that the managing director of Sunrise, Mr. President, invited him in order to find a lasting solution to this.
It's a very important motion because power is sine qua non for an industrial nation. Any nations that wants to get it right in terms of industrialization, power is sine qua non. You can't do without it. And the issue of Mambila has been around for the past 25 years. Going by the revelation by Senator Sani Musa, we can say that the project is good to go.
The Senate resolved that the committees on finance, power, water resources and appropriation should conduct a comprehensive investigation into the Mambila hydroelectric power project transactions and report their findings within 4 weeks. From the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has committed to partnering with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to dredge Kiri Dam. This initiative aims to enhance irrigation farming, boost food security, and prevent flooding in affected parts of the state. Addressing the Lunguda people, a predominantly farming ethnic group, Governor Fintiri expressed his concern over the current state of the dam. Gibson Swadigo reports.
Members of the Lunguda ethnic nationality from Adamawa and Gombe states gathered at the office of Governor Ahmadu Fintiri to express their gratitude for his inclusive governance. The delegation, led by former Secretary to the Adamawa State Government, Ibrahim Waliye, praised the governor for his significant achievements in infrastructure and his support for agrarian communities. The group also requested an upgrade to the Gui Cottage Health Facility, proposing its elevation to a general hospital to better serve the healthcare needs of the council area and its surrounding communities.
Also reiterate our corollary demand that you kindly establish an irrigation scheme along the river. A dredge dam with irrigation schemes will no doubt boost the economy of several hundred agrarian communities that depend on the dam for their agricultural activities, in addition to boosting food production generally. It will also create jobs for the teeming youth of the area.
Governor Benue State has acknowledged the significant contributions of the Lunguda Nation to the growth and development of Adamawa State and Nigeria at large. He highlighted the notable achievements of Lunguda sons and daughters who have added value to the country's democracy and serve with distinction in armed forces.
You don't have to come to the government house to ask for anything. You may have said your mind. Just like you said, we have surprised you with so many of our projects. We are coming to you. And we are going to come with a lot of projects, with a lot of what you deserve, because you have a larger share in this government.
Similarly, Governor Benue State welcomed the heads of federal government establishments in Adamawa State during a courtesy visit to his office at the Government House, Yola. In his remarks, Governor Benue State reiterated his administration's commitment to embracing and collaborating with all development and peace-loving individuals in Nigeria, regardless of their ethnicity or geographical origin, in the interest of national unity.
Whether you are an indigene or you should be treated like an indigene, we have long passed that. You are, and you are one of us.
Thank you very much.
And we'll continue to work, and most of we've been working together, because I know for most of the MDAs, we've been collaborating, we've been working, we've been consulting each other on certain matters and issues that borders on our common interests. And we'll continue to work together. Feel free, this is home for you.
The delegation, led by the Federal Comptroller, Maitin Gaido, said as a committee of heads of federal government parastatals posed to implement policies of the government in the state, it became imperative for them to familiarize themselves with the governor and also to align with his administration's mandate. Gibson So Adugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
According to the Internally Displacement Monitoring Center, around 3.3 million people were living in internally displacement as a result of conflict and violence at the end of 2023, with about half of them in Benue State. Now, this followed persistent conflict in the northeastern states of Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe, where various non-state armed groups, the INSACs, operate. To address the rising challenges of displacement arising from the conflict, the Yobe state government has launched a policy document that will holistically deal with issues around IDPs. Trust TV's Noel Sampson has more.
The Yobe state government, at the formal launch of the policy on IDPs in Abuja, says it is dedicating 5% of its annual budget to cater for the needs of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in the state, to address challenges associated with displacements.
The policy development process is very important to highlight. This is an effort of over 6 months, driven by the Yobe state government with a full participation and support from all the international community, the UN agencies, the World Bank team, the INGOs group, etc., including the IDP representative, the civil society organization, and the traditional community.
Considering the need for collaborative efforts in managing the plight of IDPs, I hereby leverage this opportunity to call on all states and other critical stakeholders to queue behind Yobe State and develop similar documents that could be deployed when the need arises.
Reconstruction and return is not enough. What we want, and when I say we, I mean the state with its implementing partners and financiers and supporters like us behind it, is a developmental approach. Humanitarian assistance will be needed, recovery will be needed, but development needs to happen at the same time, and taking that developmental approach going forward. In recognizing that beyond return, we're also looking at local integration, there's long-term displaced, and looking at relocation. and recognizing there's host communities that would need to be supported as well as part of longer-term development planning.
These strides are evidence in the recent launch of the Yobe State Action Plan for Durable Solutions to Internally Displacement 2025-2027, and now the Yobe State Policy on Internal Displacement.
Yobe's commitment to the return and relocation of IDPs on a voluntary and informed basis is key, as we know, to the sustainability of outcomes. It honours people's rights, it honours their dignity, and it gives them a better chance of restarting their lives.
The Yobe State government at the event justified the launching of the policy document and how it will sustain the policy.
As a government, we have the responsibility to provide a framework that not only addresses the immediate needs of IDPs, but also lays the foundation for a sustainable resilience to guarantee immediate and long-term recovery and reintegration into society. It is also worthy to mention that this administration has continued to sustain government support to the most affected communities to have access to basic life-saving assistance, including food and non-food items, clean water, health care, education, and sanitation.
People forced to flee or leave their homes, particularly in situations of armed conflict, are generally subject to heightened vulnerability in a number of areas. Displaced persons suffer significantly higher rates of mortality than the general population, hence the need for them to be cared for. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigeria Customs Service says it has seized assorted consignment of arms, drones, and military accoutrements worth 1.5 billion naira exported from Turkey to Lagos State. Controller General of Customs Adewale Adeniyi made this known on Wednesday at the Murtala Mohammed Area Command of the service. Trust TV's Abbas Lalibi now reports.
The Customs Controller General said the command, acting on intelligence from local and international collaborators, deployed its personnel to man all exit points around the airport.
Analysis of this and similar recent seizures indicate that some unscrupulous Nigerians based in Turkey and some other parts of Europe are purchasing and packaging these illicit arms into Nigeria. Our intelligence further revealed that they are exploring new frontiers to perpetrate their nefarious activities. This is an attempt to try and bring in these items via the airport.
He said the service has initiated some kind of contact with the Turkish authorities in its effort to curb issues with exporting from the country to Nigeria.
There was some kind of contact with Turkish authorities to see what we can do. What the World Customs Organization encourages in this kind of situation is a kind of a customs to customs cooperation through an instrument of cooperation between us, so that it will allow us to exchange intelligence, it will allow us to exchange information, best practices. Particularly, it will also enable us to have access to data that can help us in investigation.
Bashir Adewale added that officials involved in intercepting the firearms will be adequately rewarded, while those who compromise their position will be punished.
Officers who are involved in this, through their diligence, integrity, and dedication to duty, has resulted to this remarkable seizure, would be adequately rewarded in a manner that is provided for by the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023. It is also possible that some officers may have compromised their position. They may have compromised the oath that they swore, oath of allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in a similar manner, those officers, if found culpable, the importation of this will also be subjected to severe sanctions as provided by the law.
Adeniyi said a suspect was arrested in connection with the illicit arms importation and will be handed over to the National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons under the Office of the National Security Advisor for diligent investigation and prosecution. He also put the value of military and paramilitary accoutrement improperly imported at 1.29 billion naira.
The total duty paid value of all the displayed items is 1,568,907,308 naira 48 kobo.
Recall that days ago, the customs announced that its officers in Port Harcourt seized 844 rifles and 112,500 rounds of ammunition. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
The Benue State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of over 100 suspects in connection with various crimes alleged to have been committed across the state. Addressing a news conference, the command spokesperson, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, said in addition to various exhibits, several dangerous weapons were also recovered from the suspect, who will soon be charged to court.
The command was able to arrest 106 suspected thugs and 25 armed robbery suspects, 2 suspected kidnappers, 3 suspected drug dealers, 3 suspected motor vehicle thieves, 2 suspected motorcycle thieves, as well as 8 suspected thieves for other stealings. Recovery. The command, during the period under review, was able to recover 1 pump-action rifle, 2 motor vehicles, 5 tricycles, 8 motorcycles, 58 knives, cutlasses, and pointed rods, popularly called dambida.
Corn and pear, a seasonal food that is highly consumed by many Nigerians, are packed with nutrients that benefits our body system. To this end, experts have encouraged Nigerians to take advantage of them in moderate quantities in order to maximize the health benefits. The report.
Pear, a popular African fruit, is commonly consumed with corn by many Nigerians, either as a snack or as a main meal. Black pear, or African pear as many call it, according to a dietitian, Temitokwe Osho, enhances the taste of the corn, and altogether they provide a high fiber content that aids digestion, prevents constipation, stabilizes blood cholesterol, and controls blood sugar. Osho says this combination is also rich in antioxidants, which help combat chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. On their own, pears contain essential vitamins and minerals such as calcium, iron, zinc, magnesium, manganese, and folic acid, which are good for the human body.
To enjoy the benefits of the corn, one needs to be taking whole. That is, you take everything, don't remove the fiber. You take it together with the fiber because of the benefits. Then also, because the corn is so essential, in the sense that cooking method, the heat and the duration of cooking affects the nutrients in corn. So it is so if one is taken as popcorn or taken roasted or taken as smoked, it gives the nutrients.
Some Nigerians on the street of Lagos bared their minds on why and how they consume the combination.
Mostly fresh corn. I love fresh corn. It is very fresh and with pear. But if the pear is very expensive to buy, just the boiled corn or the roasted corn and snacks at any time that is available to you. It's very expensive. And the issue is I don't usually take it. But I just said I should just eat it today.
The dietitian also explains why children should consume this combination more, especially pear.
Children consuming fiber fruits like pear, it helps them to enhance digestion. It prevents them from constipating. The most is also a source of calorie to them because it is high in calorie. So it is mostly good for children. Adults can take it in moderation, but children can take it a lot because of the fat it contains, though it's healthy fat, but it also helps them to gain weight.
Despite being a good source of healthy fats, experts advocate moderation in the consumption of corn and pear.
Let's now join Yusuf Akogu for business news update.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. Against the backdrop of exchange rate instability and naira depreciation, closed pension fund administrators affiliated to international oil companies are investing more of their pension fund assets on the foreign market instrument, apparently for safety. The National Pension Commission (PENCOM), in an unaudited report on pension fund industry portfolio for the period ended May 31, 2024, indicated that the CPFAs invested 107.1 billion naira during the month, up 10.2% from 97.2 billion naira recorded in the preceding month of April. The CPFAs, according to the PENCOM report, also increased their stake in foreign ordinary shares by 9.3%. Meanwhile, total pension fund assets increased by 2.02% to 20.2 trillion naira in May 2024 from 19.8 trillion naira recorded in April 2024. NJS closed Thursday trading in red as investors take profit. Let's see how it went down this Thursday. Leading the losers there is Dacom, down 8.33% to close at 44 kobo per share. Of course, UPD Credit also down 8.26% to close at 5 naira per share as well. Of course, Guineans also down 7.69% to close at 36 kobo per share. Of course, this has pushed down the all share index down there 0.24%. Volume of trade 863.583 million shares were traded, valued at 12.561 billion naira. In a list of 7,931 did exchanges among investors this Thursday. Let's look at the top trading equities in terms of volume. Fidelity Bank Nigeria PLC leading that table 539.397 million shares. Jitco also there, so 432 million shares. Of course, Veritas Capital 40.424 million shares is traded. Also, of course, some equity recorded some gains at the close of business. This was the leading that table is Oando Nigeria PLC 9.93% to close at 15 naira and 50 kobo per share. Of course, Corn Oil Nigeria PLC 9.52% to close at 115 naira per share. Of course, Veritas Capital up there as well, 9.37% to close at 1 naira and 5 kobo per share there. That's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Thursday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Oil price held above $87 a barrel on Thursday, near the highest level since late April, after the previous data showed a decline in U.S. inventories. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $87 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, price moves up to $87 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
On the international news, people across the United Kingdom are voting in a snap general election called by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. The Conservative Party leader and his top rival, Keir Starmer of the main opposition Labour Party, cast their ballots early on Thursday. Polling stations opened at 7 a.m. and will close 10 p.m. local time. That's 0600 GMT to 2100 GMT. Voters will elect 650 lawmakers representing as many constituencies. The party with a majority in the House of Commons, either alone or with the backing of another party, will be tasked with forming the next government, while its leader will become the Prime Minister. Thousands of people gathered in Paris on Wednesday to protest against the result of the first round of the French legislative elections, in which the far-right National Rally Party secured the most votes. Now, many unions, independent media and citizens' organizations were behind the demonstration, calling on voters to block the far-right from winning the second round due to take place on Sunday. They fear a far-right victory could curtail civil liberties because of the National Rally's history of xenophobia and anti-Semitism. To prevent the National Rally from obtaining a 289-seat majority, the left-wing New Popular Front coalition and French President Emmanuel Macron's party, Ensemble, have made a pact. They said they could withdraw their candidates in districts where they finished third in order to support other stronger candidates opposed to the National Rally in next Sunday's vote. This tactic, known as the Republican Front, worked in the past when the far right was considered a political outcast.
If the far right wins, I don't know what will become of my friends who are foreign students, or all the French people who have dual nationality who will be stigmatized because of this. LGBTQ people, people of color.
An armed group on Wednesday attacked a wedding ceremony in central Mali, killing at least 21 people, residents said, as the West African country's military rulers battle growing violence by extremists. The attackers rode on motorcycles into the village of Djougbombo in the town of Bandiagara on Monday evening as residents were celebrating a wedding, according to Bakari Guendo, resident of the local youth group. According to Indo, most of the victims had their throats slit. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but it is a continuation of attacks by the Al-Qaeda-linked extremist group Jinim, which has often targeted the area. Nearly 4 years after taking power and the departure of foreign peacekeepers, Mali's military rulers have had little success in containing the violence. Meanwhile, a 2015 peace deal with Tuareg rebels operating in the north of the country has collapsed, deepening the security crisis. Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe for Sports News Update.
The Nigerian Tennis Federation (NTF) has announced the official opening of its camp for Nigerian players participating in the 2024 Davis Cup. The Davis Cup, which is an African Group 3 qualifying round, is scheduled to take place from 15 to 28th of July at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. NTF Secretary General Shama Makpa, who highlighted the Federation's preparations for the event, said the NTF will, among other things, ensure that the facilities and equipment are in optimal condition, while players are properly prepared for the competition. Among the players in camp are David Ekpeyon, Daniel Adeleye, Uche Okparaoje, Michael Emmanuel, and Christopher Bolus. Makpa expressed confidence in the team's capabilities, noting their previous performances, which led to Nigeria's qualification and promotion to Group 3 alongside Ghana. The Secretary General assured that with the support of the NTF board, Nigeria will host a memorable and successful Davis Cup tournament. And in weightlifting, the International Weightlifting Federation (IWF) has confirmed the participation of 2 Nigerian weightlifters in the forthcoming Paris 2024 Olympic Games in France. The duo of 2-time Commonwealth Games champions Folashade Lawal and Joy Ogbone made the qualification mark in the final Olympic qualification ranking. Folashade Lawal ranked 8th in the world with 227 kg in the women's 59 kg weight class. In the women's 71 kg, 2-time Commonwealth Games champion John Ogbone is ranked 9th in the world with 239 kg. All 4 teams are in Group D. The 6-match qualifying series have been spread over the FIFA windows in September, October, and November, with 2 matches in each 7-day window. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up Trust News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.